Unknown aircraft. You have 60 seconds to change your course away from the USS Hamilton, or we will be forced to engage. The warning crackled across open channels like a spark about to ignite a powder keg. Beneath the surface of the Pacific, a fleet silently shifted formation, weapon systems armed and waiting for the command that might launch them into chaos. On the bridge, tension coiled tight, eyes narrowed, fingers hovered over triggers, and then came a voice. A single word, clear, measured, unmistakable. Spectre 1. In that instant, the entire fleet froze. Fingers relaxed. Radars blinked, but no one moved. What could make a fleet halt mid-alert? Who had that kind of authority? The answer was buried beneath layers of classified files, long-forgotten whispers, and redacted mission logs. But to those who remembered, the call sign alone was enough. Spectre 1. Her name, now lost to most, was once Olivia Mason, 44 years old, former squadron commander of the 6th Naval Air Wing. A legend. They called her Spectre for a reason. She appeared in the sky like a ghost, completed missions no one else would dare, and vanished without a trace. Missions that never made it to the morning briefings. Actions denied at the highest levels. 5 years ago, she vanished from duty. Official records listed a medical discharge after a training accident, with whispers of chronic pain. But to the few who'd flown at her side, the truth was heavier. Too many operations, too many secrets, too much burden. And now she was back. No formal return, no briefing, just her jet, a modified L-39 Albatross, civilian registered. No transponder, flying low and fast straight toward the USS Hamilton, the Pacific Fleet's flagship. No warning, no clearance. Just a blip on a radar that refused to be ignored. Inside the Hamilton's Combat Information Center, alarms blared. Officers scrambled to identify the unknown aircraft. Radar techs tracked its precise movements, too controlled, too deliberate to be an accident. She's either out of her mind, muttered one analyst, or she knows exactly what she's doing. The air boss gave the order. Scramble interceptors. 2 F-22 Raptors roared off the flight deck, twin thunderbolts slicing the sky. Leading them was Lieutenant Commander Jason Cole. Call sign, Falcon 1. He had no idea that the pilot he was chasing was the very ghost who'd helped write the very tactics he now used. The woman who'd trained many of his instructors, the shadow behind the strategy. Falcon's initial scan showed an aging trainer jet, likely an old vet joyriding where they shouldn't. He locked on and followed protocol. Unidentified aircraft. This is Falcon 1. You're entering restricted airspace. Identify yourself and adjust course to heading 270. Silence. His wingman, Raven 2, chimed in on a private channel. Reckless civvy, or just someone with a death wish. Falcon didn't respond. His instincts were beginning to scream something else. The pilot ahead of him was holding a perfect line, dodging patrol vectors as if reading them in advance. It was almost textbook, almost too clean. Then came the second warning. You have 60 seconds to comply or we will take defensive measures. Inside the Hamilton, pressure mounted. Pilots requested missile lock. Weapons officers waited for confirmation. The tension was suffocating. 30 seconds to compliance. The call came again. Final warning. Still, the jet ahead didn't respond. Until it did, USS Hamilton. The voice rang clear, cool as steel. This is Spectre 1. I'm coming home. Disarm your weapons. Time stopped. On every deck, in every control room, silence cascaded like falling dominoes. In the CIC, a coffee mug shattered on the floor. On the flight deck, crew froze mid-step. In the flag bridge, Admiral William Hayes dropped his binoculars. Spectre 1, Falcon murmured. Stunned? No way. Admiral Hayes moved fast. Only a handful aboard knew who Olivia Mason really was, and he was one of them. He grabbed the secure line. All units, cease defensive operations. I repeat, power down all weapon systems. Raptors, switch to escort formation. Provide safe approach. Falcon blinked. Stunned. Escort. Sir, that jet is under Pentagon authority beyond your clearance. Assume honor guard formation. Within moments, the F-22s flank the L-39 not as hunters, but as guardians. More aircraft launched behind them, not to intercept, but to join the procession. Back inside the intelligence division, files marked Spectre 1 were pulled from deep classified storage. Most were redacted beyond readability. What remained painted a shadowy legacy. Extractions behind enemy lines. Reconnaissance flights into forbidden airspace. Test flights that pushed physics to its breaking point. Each file ended the same way. Presidential authorization required to discuss on the flight deck. As the jet approached, sailors and officers gathered along catwalks and platforms. Some had heard her name in rumors. Others had only known her legend. A few had seen her fly. Chief Petty Officer Grant, a 20-year Navy vet, stood beside younger sailors. I was on the Kennedy when she landed an F-18 with no hydraulics, no power, and half a tail missing, he said, voice quiet. We still don't know how it stayed airborne. Why come back now? One of the younger crew asked. Grant didn't hesitate. Because when Spectre returns, something's coming. Her wheels touched down. Arresting cables snapped tight. The jet came to a halt. The canopy lifted. She stood, helmet in hand, eyes scanning the faces before her. Captain Rachel Monroe stepped forward with an honor guard. Commander Mason, she said, extending a hand. Welcome back aboard the Hamilton. Thank you. Captain, Olivia replied, her voice calm, but laced with something deeper, a trace of emotion. Falcon and Raven climbed down from their Raptors. Still dazed, Falcon approached, visibly unsure. Ma'am, I just wanted to say, we didn't know. You followed protocol, she said, offering a small smile. Your intercept was flawless. Who trained you? Commander Mitchell, at Fallon. Jake Mitchell, she asked, eyebrow raised. Tell him Spectre thinks he's doing excellent work. Later that evening, the Hamilton hosted an informal gathering in the hangar bay. No official debrief, just storytelling. Olivia shared pieces of her past. A mission extracting 3 trapped Marines from a hostile zone in a helicopter never meant to go that far. A recon op that averted a crisis the world never knew about. Test flights that rewrote what fighters could do. But the moment that silenced the room came when she turned to the younger crew. 5 years ago, I thought leaving the Navy meant leaving my family behind, she said. I was wrong. Every mission I've flown since every risk was about protecting what we built here. This ship, this mission, you, applause thundered through the hangar. Over the next days, Olivia conducted her audit, walking each department, testing systems, inspecting readiness. She found her ideas, the strategies she once scribbled in memos alive in radar integration. Response times, flight protocol. At every stop, crew members initially hesitated. Then they beamed when she noticed the detail in their work. Then came the questions how to refine, improve, push further. Falcon Jason shadowed her the whole time. Officially as escort, unofficially as a student. Ma'am, he asked quietly one day, did you ever picture this? When you wrote those procedures, she paused, eyes on the deck. I wrote them for someone like me. I just didn't think I'd be the one testing them. Later, when he asked about the secret missions, her answer was simple. Isolating, she said. When your missions don't exist, your victories aren't celebrated and your failures aren't mourned. You carry it all. Before departing, she gathered a group of pilots and mechanics, giving one final talk. When you step into that cockpit, you're not just flying a mission, you're writing yourself into a frequency that protects people you'll never meet. Long after your wings are grounded, 6 months later, the Pacific Fleet ran with unmatched precision, not just because of upgraded systems, but because of a renewed mindset. Invisible Wings Day became a new tradition, a day to honor those who flew in silence. Test pilots, instructors, covert operators. Olivia Mason, now simply known as Spectre, spoke at each ceremony. No medals, no ranks, just truth. One quiet plaque was installed near the Hamilton's ready room. To those who fly beyond the maps, who never stopped watching our six, legends don't fade, voices don't lie, and the sky never forgets. And for pilots like Falcon, now leading his own squadron, the recording of Spectre's voice remains not as nostalgia but as a reminder. True authority doesn't shout. It whispers and the sky listens.